What are you looking at over there, D? Got your eyes on. I do want to get a bag of peanuts.
Yeah.
I want to try and see if we can get them squirrels to come up here. And if we can get him to chill with the squirrels, learn that they're his little friends, then we have ourselves a little clutch of squirrels back here.
Mm-hmm. You want to pause it for a second?
But woo-ha. Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning to you. Doot, 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 doot. I think this Christmas I'm going to inflict upon you the White Christmas, Christmas Story Christmas. And then we're going to do, because RV is a Christmas movie, isn't it? Ish. Did your family have a Christmas movie?
I mean, no, I mean, like, they watched it during, I just wouldn't call it, like, a Christmas movie.
But that's your family's Christmas movie.
Yeah. Also a Thanksgiving movie.
Okay, well, you know what? This year, we're watching, and I'm sorry I have two, but I picked up a few along the way. White Christmas, it's my second favorite. Christmas Story, that's my first favorite. And we're watching RV. RV. With Robin Williams. Yeah. A family rambunctious comedy. Yeah. About a guy that wants to go on an RV trip. And it goes crazy from there. You understand? Sisters, sisters, never were there such important sisters. Da 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 da. No, sir. What?
Oh, it's just funny. Like, looking at the ratings of family's favorite movie, it's like 23% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes, yeah. Yeah. Well, my family didn't even really have a favorite Christmas movie. Yeah. So that's why I collected a couple. Yeah. That I liked from my childhood, because my family didn't have that part of the tradition. You know what our tradition was? This is gonna sound so fucking lame, but I actually love it. There is a people are gonna go look it up. It's funny. There is a Christmas album released by country legend Kenny Rogers called "Christmas in America," and if that ain't playing at my mom's house, it ain't Christmas. I'm telling you, that on loop is Christmas. That was my family tradition, was sitting and listening to Kenny Rogers' "Christmas in America." Jesus, they're having to ban so many people today. Poor fucking Ghoul. Give Ghoul some slack. She's a mother, for Christ's sakes. Because he did his own thing, "Christmas in America" is his own song. Yeah. And then it was like a bunch of Christmas staples, like the Little Drummer Boy, Silver Bells, like all the good ones. But it's all Kenny Rogers. You see, the Gambler. Hello, Dublin. Hello, hello, hello. Why do I need slack? Oh, I just looked and saw how you were how many people you had a ban already. And I was like, damn. Evolution of the Christmas movie is interesting. It used to be a White Christmas, and my dad's generation had Christmas Carol and Christmas Story. My generation's Christmas movie is Bad Santa. Well, Bad Santa and Elf. Like, you guys, like, the millennial Christmas movie was Elf. All the millennials love Elf. I'm just not millennial enough to love Elf. Elf annoys me. So I don't watch Elf. That movie is annoying as fuck. Jingle All the Way, yeah, that's a crappy one too. So I'm definitely stuck in my ways. Because, dude, White Christmas is like my grandma's generation. So I'm just into that one because it's just such a fucking beautiful movie. It really is.
Yeah, I think you showed me both one year.
Yeah, I think
year.
so. Maybe we did. I don't know. But we're doing it again.
Am I thinking of the right one with extra Doug Dexter blue eyes?
Yeah. Yeah. That is the correct one. Bing Crosby's bluest of blue eyes.
I got technicolored.
Technicolored. Well, they did it on purpose, I think, with him because, you know, he really did have those piercing sky blue eyes, and they wanted to, like, the ladies all went nuts for it, so they probably went a little extra with him. But yeah, that's the one where he's like a showman, and he meets those girls, and then he hears about this old soldier that's going out of business, and he makes all the old soldiers come back and give a big Christmas thing for him and sings White Christmas at the end. Yeah, it's a great movie, though. Definitely a movie that is indicative of its time because it's very World War II focused in terms of the heavy militarism and the heavy, like, I just don't know, like, just the military presence in the movie is not like it was today. It's like everybody's this wonderful, honorable guy, you know. You would never see a movie that portrayed the American military at that time as anything other than honorable and, you know, good. Not that, you know, all of them were bad. I'm just saying you don't get that nuance until later. The Die Hard debate. Die Hard is a Christmas film, and Die Hard 2 is a Christmas film. That's all there is to it. You can cry about it. It just is. They're Christmas movies. So, shut up. I'm going to think about you in the shower later. Gross. Don't do that. You do not have my consent to think about me. We'll follow the old man wherever he wants to go, as long as he wants to go over the hills and snow. We'll follow the old man wherever he wants to stay, as long as he wants to keep us away from the battle fray, because we love him. We love him. Stupid movie. Rip Charlie Kirk. Good, Bad, and the Ugly is fucking fantastic, and you're right. I mean, it is a Tarantino film. Tarantino, if you look at his influences, it was 70s kind of spaghetti westerns, blaxploitation. He's got that heavy fucking 70s vibe about his movies. So you're right to see it there. I'm sure he's listed Sergio Leone as one of his big influences. I have an answer I've been meaning to give you for days. What do you think about that? Once Upon a Time is great. All his movies are great. Let's be real. The beginning scene felt exactly like the beginning of Inglourious Bastards. Yeah, for sure. Mario Morricone. Yeah. Same guy that did the score for Good, Bad, and Ugly. And to my knowledge, for A Fistful of Dollars and A Few Dollars More, and maybe even The Outlaw Josie Wales, although I'm not sure about that one. Do you ever see yourself doing music reviews the way you do movie reviews? No, and here's why. I love music, but just like I don't have the analytical perspective on music. Um, I just don't. Like I get wishy-washy talking about music because I haven't studied music theory. Not that I've like super studied cinema, but I know a lot about cinema. I know a lot about the history of it. I don't have that same basis for music. I just love music. You see Nightbreed. Nightbreed is crazy, bro. Nightbreed actually has a director's cut that you need to watch because if you saw the fucking theater edit of Nightbreed, you did yourself a shitty disservice, bro. Nightbreed is so good. Oh, that movie is so underrated, bro. And I used to think it was a shit movie. And then I watched the director's cut with the fucking like director's original vision intact, and I was like, damn. Vampire movie? Nah. Nightbreed. Nightbreed is about like a dude that I don't even know how to explain it, bro. He feels called to the city of monsters. He has these dreams of this city where all these fantastical monsters are. And he seems to be getting called to this like old rundown cemetery. He goes there, finds out that they're real. The monsters in his dreams are real, and he gets caught up in their little web of stuff. It's a really interesting movie. Nightbreed, yeah, but just make sure you get like the Criterion or whatever. Do I smoke weed? Never. Never in my life. Mm-mm. Not me. Couldn't be me, officer. I'm on the straight and narrow. Officer, sir. I'm on the straight and narrow, Your Honor. I would never do such a thing to my body or my mind. Okay? 30 Days of Night, fucking great. The guy that plays the head vampire, I'm trying to remember his name. It escapes me. He's fucking fantastic. That was the first role that I really noticed him in. Now I see him everywhere because you can never forget his face. That movie is great. I think a lot of people shit on it because Josh Hartnett, but I think Josh Hartnett's pretty fucking good in that, to be honest. Off for a quick puff. My friend, Sultama, we don't go anywhere for a quick puff. This is my porch. We sit right here and do it. Might mix that and my strawberry haze and twist one up. That's what I'm talking about. Some purple pomegranate. Jelly Roll? I wish I knew a Jelly Roll song, but I don't. I would pretend I'm Jelly Roll. You guys hear the fucking jungle? There you go. Mentalite. There you go. All right. Don't bogart it. Nobody else gets none. Only him. Shy? You already know I come from the shy. South side. Bless up. Bless up. And when you talk to the cops, you never fess up. Bogart is OG weed slang. Well, I'm an OG, bro. I was born in 1980, okay? So don't bogart the J. You, like 28 years later? Nah. I ain't seen it yet, so. I didn't like the fucking 28 weeks later, so. What's going on, little ass G's? What's going on, little nephews? What's happening? Or look content? Bro, you have no idea. My contentment is abound. Where am I from? Born in California. I live right now in Washington State, just off the Puget Sound. About an hour from Seattle or so, out in the woods, the deep woods. You still watch boxing? Not as much. No, I used to watch boxing back in the 80s and 90s during the old kind of heavyweight era. Just not really. Have a proud uncle moment. I watched Bill and Ted for the first time with Cheyenne, younger son. Sean. Sham. That's cool. Did he enjoy it? Did Sham enjoy it? Because hopefully so. You are a beautiful man. Shut up, you son of a bitch. Okay, yeah. That's good. Mm-hmm. Proud uncle moment achieved. That's good shit. Yeah, I never wanted you to ask. I never want to ask his name because I was afraid you didn't want the wider world to know it, and that I would blurt it at some point. So now that's cool. Now I know. Sean. Paul, why are Debbie cakes so trash now? Danny, I wish I could tell you. I don't know. They used to be dope, and now they suck. I mean, dude, you guys are all hating, but Diddy didn't. Diddy coming home, and he gonna throw a big ass booty oil party too, and ain't nobody gonna stop him. But Diddy didn't. You see? He had to go to a wedding on one of them islands in Seattle, probably Bainbridge. Depends on when the wedding is, bro. I gotta tell you right now, bro, I don't bother with the ferries. I just drive around the Horn. I come out here on the peninsula, bro, and Like during the winter, the fall, even in the early spring, I take those ferries because it just shaves some time, bro. Like the one from the what do they call it? The one that I take the most is the Edmonds ferry, and that one is an hour, right? But if you do a walk on the Seattle Fast Ferry to the same kind of area is half an hour. But the big boat where you pull your car on, which is the one I usually have to take, because I'm usually not going to Seattle or I'm not going to Edmonds, I'm going up past Edmonds. So I'm just trying to miss Seattle, you know. But yeah, no, I would say like an hour if you can take, but like, look, get the WS dot app or whatever, and that'll tell you the ferries, and it'll tell you like if there's a big wait at the ferries, you're better off just taking 5 around. Triple kill. Yeah. So if you want to know for sure, get that WS dot. It's the Washington State Department of Transportation app. You can just uninstall it when you're done, but that'll tell you minute to minute what the ferries look like, how long the wait is, how many people are loaded on the last ferry, so you can see if it's slammed. If there's a lot of spots on the last ferry, it means the ferry wasn't slammed. It means you probably just drive right on, you know. But give an hour for the ferry if you're taking your car, half an hour if you're walking on. The drones are outside my house again. I gotta get my band hammer need out here because I'm not a mod on DFF and we got some serious morons there. Yeah, for sure. Well, we're more tolerant of them there. You know, we let them grouse. Here, I don't put up with their bullshit. Not for a second. No problem, bro. Yeah, I had to figure it out, so if it helps you out, great. I understand, man. It's a little weird up here, bro. The roads are weird. Like coming from California where everything's like big, long, straight grid. It ain't like that up here, bro. You get this north and it's like everything winds, you know, there's not a straight road anywhere. Everything's up, down, left, right. It can be real confusing, but ferries are real good, bro. So you should be chill. As long as it's not summer. In the summer, the ferries get so backed up, I don't bother. Like right around Mother's Day, that's when they go to shit. And I'd say fall is when they stop being shit. Bro, it's your neighbor. Oh, fuck you. You're an architect? That's cool. I'm a podcaster. My name is Paul. Nice to meet you. The Olympic Peninsula. Oh yeah, man. It's incredibly beautiful. Incredibly unbelievable. Like I'm gonna die in this area. Now I just have to find a piece of land that I can plop a little piece of shit house on. Call it a day. And it's time for me to croak. Jareth just knows the smell of like bot troll shit, dude. Not had the stink of it. He was right. Just kind of thrown together because the hills and water erosion. I'm not from Coos Bay, and the roads in that city are fucked. Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest with you. In comparison to a lot of Cali roads, the roads here are beautiful in this area, at least. Really easy to like drive on, really smooth. They're just windy and strange. You know what I mean? They have to do things here that you can't you can't really get away with elsewhere, and then they can do things here that you really can't do elsewhere. It's like when you go through Seattle on the 5, let's say that you're trying to get beyond Seattle, but the 5 takes you right through. So if that was LA, you're fucked. But Seattle has this great thing, express lanes that go underneath the city that have barely no exits. So it's like if you get on this, that means you're passing through Seattle. And so there's this part that's literal cuckery. I love it. You'll be going through it, right? You go through a series of tunnels under the city, then you come out and you're literally next to the slammed out traffic. like ass to ass traffic that needs to be in that lane because they have an exit somewhere in Seattle, and you just get to cruise at like 70, going like, you know what I mean? And they're just ass to ass sucking fumes. I love that, bro. They need to put that in every city. So Seattle's actually kind of based for that. Even with that, getting to the point where you get on the express lanes in Seattle is fucked. It's gonna back up, but you gotta know in your mind, like, I only gotta go like a quarter of the way into this and hit them expresses. Yeah, all people head in the same direction as me, just cucked because they've got an exit before mine. I'm going through Seattle, you bitches. I ain't stopping. It is kind of fucked though, because I would be pissed sitting in that, watching those lanes, going, "How do I get over there?" You don't, bitch. You missed that chance way back. I've been cruising at 70 for a hot minute through tunnels and shit. Yeah. When I was a kid, when I first moved to Phoenix, um, I I thought it was remarkable like how good their roads were there. So I lived in the Phoenix metro area for a couple of years after high school, and that was one of the first things I noticed. I was like, God damn, the roads are nice here everywhere, and that's pretty true. So I agree with that. Unless they've gone to shit. That was a long fucking time ago, so you have to take my word for it, I guess. Yeah, I've been through Arizona a few times since then, so I feel like it still holds. But I lived in Phoenix for like a month, and then my roommate and I moved to Chandler, and then I moved to Mesa for a couple of months, and then got a place in Tempe. So I lived everywhere around Phoenix except Scottsdale. Bro, Phoenix is livable year round. You just got to learn to stay indoors, bro. Everything in Phoenix has an insane industrial sized air conditioning on it. So you just stay indoors, bro. Don't go out. Stay in your car. Stay indoors. Scottsdale is nuts, bro. When I was there, they had it was the craziest shit. You remember the Dodge Viper? It's like a 90s fucking sports car. Bro, I pulled through Scottsdale, and no shit, they had a fucking Scottsdale PD Dodge Viper patrolling. I was like, Dodge Viper with lights. I was like, Scottsdale PD on the side. I was like, they got a Dodge Viper? Bro, it's so rich there. Phoenician here. I'm definitely an indoor cat. Yeah, you gotta be. Well, in the winter, in the summer, you guys are chilling. Yeah, that was, yeah, it's wild. Yeah, Scottsdale is rich people shit. Yeah. I couldn't afford to live in Scottsdale, so Scottsdale is rich people shit for sure. But you go through there, and I used to cover shifts because I was a Starbucks guy. I worked at the Chandler and Dobson Starbucks. I don't even know if it's still there. But it was right next to like a grocery store, and I would cover shifts. Pick up extra shifts and shit. Different stores, and I had to cover shifts at the Scottsdale drive-through a few times. I fucking hated it. Everybody that worked there was just like a pretentious, high-strung fuck, and like the people were just nasty. Like the dirty old fucking plastic surgery ladies coming through all pissed off, and yeah, it sucked, bro. I was like, send me back to my store, please. So I got to the point where, when people would call up, I just like, unless I was really hurting for money, which was a lot, but I would definitely like, I'd go, nah, I can't do it. Sorry, I got plans. If it was that Scottsdale store they called, I was like, fuck nah. Yeah, Phoenix Zoo ain't bad. Just don't go in the summer. You know what I mean? What is going on, man? Excuse me, comrade. I know speak Russian. USA, no speak Russian, comrade. Na zdrowie. Wódka. Wódka. Jeez. Crazy. It's the 5th largest city now. That's wild, yeah. Did Russia just invade the chat? I don't know what happened. What up, Canty, by the way? What's your all-time favorite movie? I answer this all the time. Aliens. Not Alien. Aliens. The James Cameron Aliens. That movie is a masterclass. Practical effects, pacing, casting. It's all beautiful. It's all perfect. Watch it. Tell me I'm wrong. Not a second of screen time is wasted. All builds naturally and perfectly. Aliens is just top tier. Platinum level film. Alien is great. Aliens is transcendently awesome. What movie do you like? But everyone shits on it when you bring it up. I've got a couple of these. You know, the one that I always try and push on people is there's a movie called Unfriended. Came out in like the mid 2000s, 2015, 2014, 13, something like that. And it's about, it all takes place in Apple Instant Messenger or whatever that is, you know, and it's a crazy movie. A lot of people hate it, but I thought it was cool. I have not seen Alien Earth yet. I don't watch TV shows until they're done because I don't like getting cucked. If a TV show is going to end on a fucking cliffhanger, I want to know about it. Yeah. I get shit for liking that movie, but that movie is based, bro, because I'd never seen a movie that was made that way. The perspective shift made it really interesting to me. There's a lot of good moments in it. Let me think of some other shit movies that I like that I try and fucking put people onto. I mean, I enjoy shitty movies, but there are movies that I feel like, one of them that like really got panned by the critics that I really fucking liked was Mother. I know that's one that you probably haven't seen, but Mother, super good movie, bro. I'll die on that hill any day. It's just people were too stupid to get it. People were too stupid to like read into it or come to their own conclusions and make literary connections because they haven't read books. It sucked for them, but it was cool for me. Not that I'm like, Mr. Brilliant or nothing, but I've read a book or two. So, what's another one that gets shit on? A lot of people didn't like The Master by Paul Thomas Anderson. It got bad reviews, but I think that's one of his greatest films. Name 10 books. 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. SPQR by Mary Beard. So I'll name them all, I guess. Cixin Liu's Three Body Problem. So I've read all three of those. So we're up to 4. Do you want me to keep going? Do I need to keep picking my brain? I'm gonna sneak into your workplace and steal your lunch. Sure. You were kidding? Oh, okay, good. Then I can stop. I've not read Forrest Gump. I've seen the movie a billion times, though. I will tell you a sad story, Canty, about Forrest Gump. This is the truth. I was 14 years old, and I told my dad during the school year, I was like, I want to get a car. And he was like, well, I'm not buying you a fucking car. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to get my first car? And he's like, well, you're supposed to get a job. I was like, I'm 14. He's like, I said, well, get me a job then. because nobody will hire a 14-year-old. And he goes, all right, you want a job? So he got me a job under the table at a recycling facility. And it was my job, Canty. So the glass recycling facility. It was my job, Canty, to stand in a pile of broken glass pouring down into a pile. And as it piled up, to pick out pieces of metal and ceramic and put them in my pouch, so that we were taking out that sort of thing out of the stuff. And all day, it was 8 hours a day out in the hot sun. I'd have a mask on, and I'd be out there picking shit out of shit, right? Picking fly shit out of pepper. And one of the ways that I kept myself sane was I'd watched the movie Forrest Gump so much, and I have such a weird memory where if I see something or hear something one or two times, like I can quote it. And then after that, if I keep what, I can just say everything in it. So I was so up to date at that point in my life on Forrest Gump that I could play the whole movie in my head. So I would be there in the pile and I'd be like, fuck, man, another 8 hours of this. And then I'd be like Forrest Gump. And it would start from the dun 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 dun. And I would go through that, the whole song, right? And then when that got done, I would do the Lion King. So it was that and the Lion King back and forth until I got my 8 hours done. And I did that all summer, saved every dollar I was paid under the table. And at the end of 2 summers, I had enough to buy a car. But that's the only way I got through it. So by the time I was 16, I was a bowler. Because I had a car. Zoom, 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 zoom. Hey, baby.
Sweet. What? Oh, a noise.
The fart of humanity over there.
You doing okay with our double enchilada beans?
I was a little farty last night, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I was blowing up the covers a couple of times before you came to bed.
Yeah.
And I was glad that fan was in the window because it dispersed a lot. It was bad. But I think I got most of that up out of me.
Yeah.
But I was very farty last night. Very farty.
We've had beans and enchiladas for 3 days straight, guys.
Yeah, my mom came and she cooked an insane amount of enchiladas for a family get-together down this way. Way more than was ever needed or called for. And so she left us and all of them with a giant pan of enchiladas. And I refuse to let those go to waste. My mom's enchiladas, to me, are like gold. You eat them when you've got them. And so we've had enchiladas for dinner and lunch, I think, 3 days in a row. And I think I'm done eating enchiladas for a while. Let's just put it that way.
Well, it wasn't so much that as her giant thing of beans.
She made a pot of beans that you guys would look at. It would feed the Roman legion. I'm not even kidding you. It is a fucking absurd cauldron of beans. And I was like, Mama, why? And the answer I got from her was, PJ, I have grapes of wrath syndrome. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I carry my whole world on my back, PJ, and I prepare for the worst. We might need those beans. And I was like, we might need like a quarter of those beans. We don't need those beans. So we did our best. We got those beans, ate down. We ate the rice. There were 2 pans of that. We got through the rice, we got through the beans, and we got through the pan of enchiladas. But it took 3 concerted days of just basically that's what we're having. Lunch, dinner, enchiladas. My mom's sweet. Oh my God, she's great. Such a handful. So hard-headed too, but like I look at her and it's like a big mirror because I'm fucking super hard-headed. But just not to the degree she is. And the pressure just changed.
Huh.
You ever get like a sudden ringing in your ear? Tinnitus?
Very rarely.
Happens to me pretty rarely too. I talked to a doctor about it once, and they told me it's likely a reaction to small changes in air pressure,
Oh yeah.
likely weather related. So it might be like the high pressure system
Yeah.
settling in that's going to make this hot.
Yeah.
Because it usually will happen to me around a weather change, and it's a little crazy. It just happened to me. Not ear didn't pop. I just got like all of a sudden I got a ringing, and it's typically this ear too. This is my bad ear. This right ear is just fucked. And so I got like, I was talking to you guys, and in mid sentence, it was like, ear, not like that loud, but just like that high pitched ring. And it kind of went dull. Everything else. And I was like, you guys saw me. I was like, trying to like pop my ear or something, get it out. It's weird when it happens, but it does happen infrequently. I've been told it's nothing to worry about. I have weird balance things. Like, I have what's called, well, I was diagnosed with, vasovagal syncope, which is like a diagnosis, right? But it also just means, that's what it means. What it means is this person passes out. This person's blood pressure drops for a question mark reason, and they are prone to passing out. They don't know why. All they do is make sure it's not brain tumor, blood clot, something wrong neurologically. I've had all that. And I was diagnosed vasovagal syncope. They hooked me up to the thing. They put me through the MRI, looked at my brain, everything fine. Vasovagal
Well, it's good
syncope.
that you know your brain is fine. I feel like there's a lot of people that never get
my
an
brain,
MRI in their life.
That's true. My brain, that is true. Yeah. Thank goodness modern medicine, I guess.
Yeah.
But it took a while,
Yeah.
because I got elevated, because I had a horrible incident where I passed out and I could have hurt myself, and it was real scary. And so my insurance and doctor wanted to follow up.
Yeah.
And what they found was, I had elevated blood pressure. I was obese. All of that can contribute. But why did I lose consciousness? Put me through the rigors. I had to get on the treadmill, test my shit. The end of it, vasovagal syncope. Okay.
Cause I remember it just made me think of something like there was this chick that was like doing a medical study, got her first MRI, and she saw that she was missing half her brain and didn't know her whole life.
Yeah. Chandy, I'm going to fucking answer your question in a minute. I'm pausing it on you, so, because I think you're right, but anyway. No, this ear is fucked. And I had surgery on my ears when I was a kid. The tube surgery that they're real reluctant to do now because they know it causes hearing loss later in life, or hearing damage, I guess, if not loss.
The way your mama was telling me, you didn't have a choice.
Well, the way she tells it, if she would dunk me under the water in the bath, I'd get a big, giant, rampaging ear infection. So what needed to happen was me to just keep my ears dry. But it was almost impossible. She'd put the wax, because I remember when I was a kid, this white, cloudy wax she would buy, and it was waterproof, and it was meant to mold the inside of your ear, and you would use them a few times, throw them out, you had to get new ones. It's like putty. She would fill my ear with that shit, and I'd go swim, and I'd get out, and she'd notice one of them was cockeyed, and I'd have a fucking giant ear infection. So at that time, the medical wisdom was, put a drainage tube in his fucking eardrum so the water behind it
She
gets
was telling
out.
me, like, the doctor said that was one of the worst ear infections he'd seen in you.
Yeah. And they did it to me twice. They put it in, took it out, got a rampaging ear infection almost immediately, put them back in, and then they finally took them out. And now I don't have that problem. I can go underwater, and I don't, but I am prone. I will get water stuck in my ear sometimes. My eustachian tubes are fucked. Like that's where they put the tubes. And so there's scar. And water gets stuck behind that. Nothing I can do. But anyway, you said you're a musician and you listen to loud music. I think that that hurt me too, because I had this pair of headphones. They won't sell them now. They were unregulated headphones, like monitor headphones from the 70s. Sat right on your ear, and you. I had an old 70s tube amp stereo with the two big speakers. That was in my room. So I would plug into that shit, turn that shit up to 75, and it was like blaring. And then I toured for a while around with a really loud new metal band, and I used to sit right by the seat speaker stacks and just. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that did it too. Well, you should check out what I am still out there, bro. Cinema for Cynics. Keep an eye on that. That's rebooting soon. And then we got Onion Nuggets, Deep Fat Fried. And this, Onion Nuggets, by the way, today. Today is Onion Nuggets Day. Glory, glory, hallelujah. It's Tuesday. I don't want to give you guys too much idea what we will be talking about for most of the show today, but it rhymes with Carly Chirk. Hey, we got to follow the fucking discourse, man. What choice do we have? Did you watch that horror documentary? I don't. I have not. I've been so fucking busy lately that I haven't watched dog shit. I've got 4 movies ready for a Hey Paul, what you watching? I'll probably get that recorded in the next couple of days. But I've been so fucking. It's like we did all the shoot for, all the locational shooting. That took a week, and then I came back and it was right back to work. Week, and punching up my script and taking a look at the footage and all of that. And then it was my parents are in town, you know what I mean? And so I'm working, and I had to work that week too. So I'm working while they're in town. And now this week, we're talking tomorrow and Thursday, Amelia and I are going to do our last bit of principal photography. And that's going to feel so good. It's going to feel really good. Will you ever do a What the Fuck is Breaking Bad? Probably not. I don't really cover TV shows on Cinema for Cynics, and that's because I'm not a big TV show head. I didn't really. Breaking Bad was aight. Can we be real? Like, I think it gets glazed too hard. It was good, but was it the greatest thing I ever saw? No. Did it overstay its welcome? Yeah, by about 2 seasons. But that's my, I know people love that whole thing, but for me, I felt a little let down. It was good enough that I wanted to finish it, but once I got to the end, I was like, will you guys speak about if the right is trying to curtail speech by calling this stuff hate speech? I mean, we're going to talk about everything. Have you thought about doing What the Fuck, but with bands? Somebody asked me that earlier. I think it was Ghoul asked me, or somebody asked if I would do music reviews. And I told her I love music, man, and I got a really eclectic music taste, but I don't feel like I have the broad knowledge on music and the background and history of it that I do in cinema. Like, I feel like I watch from a more critical perspective than I listen. I listen to enjoy. Yeah, I was going to say it was Ghoul. But it's interesting that you both asked me that same thing. It's something I've thought about, but I just, the same thing with video games. It's like, I don't know, maybe in the future, but I don't feel like I'm as equipped. I feel like I've got some chops when it comes to cinema. I've seen a lot of movies. I've seen a lot of films. And I've watched film pretty critically my whole life, so I can speak to that experience if nothing else. Can't really do that with music. I mean, enjoyed music, but I never delved this deep into music as I did with movies. Could combine the two, like the ICP movies. Conti, have you seen The Purple Show? This is a deep cut. Have you seen The Purple Show, Canty? The Purple Show. Purple Show. That's an old ICP fucking vault thing. That's an ICP thing, bro. That is, they did this underground. It was almost like an internet show before the internet, and they used to release it on tape. And I used to have a stack of Purple Show tapes because it was like ICP and Twisted and all those dudes. I thought you might have been a juggalo, Canty. You got an interesting take on music, especially when you talk about music you hate. Oh, I don't hate much music, though. Or hate. I don't know. Well, I'm a juggalo. Fuck you, then, Canty. Get down with the clown, you bitch. No, I'm kidding. Twisted. Yeah. Twisted. Blaze You Dead Homie and fucking all those dorks running around. Paul's Ego the musical. Yeah. Let's do it. Boom, 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 boom. Sipping coffee and talking shit, talking shit, talking shit. Sipping coffee and talking shit. Light up a cigarette. Boom, 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 boom. Can't lie, I jacked Violent J's voice. You ain't alone, though. Everybody jacked somebody's something. But it's like Eminem, right? People point at Eminem and go like, "Look at that flow," right? And you go like, "Well, what about Isham? Uh, what about what about the whole Detroit rap scene that started that fucking wave speaking? Got me geeking, got me on fleeking, like I'm sneaking." You know what I mean? Like that sort of shit that's the Detroit rap scene, and he kind of adopted that as his flow, did his own thing with it. You know, a lot of people go like another real inimitable flow, right? They go like, what about Tupac? It's like, no, Tupac scalped that from fucking Martin Luther King. No shit. If you listen to a Tupac song, especially one of his ballads like Dear Mama, Keep Your Head Up, right? And you listen to the inflections that Martin Luther King used. I may not reach the mountaintop, but I want you to know that I have a dream. And then you listen to Tupac, even though she was a crack fiend, mama, always was such a black queen, mama, right? You use that same kind of church inflection. So everybody scalps their flow, is what I'm saying. Hung out with juggalos. Reason I'm antisocial? Yeah, no, I'm not a juggalo. I used to listen to a lot of ICP, but when they dropped the weird Christian shit, I was like, nah, bro. What up, Sig Rat? Sig Rat. Yeah, bro. And I got a talking to on the dome today, Sig Rat. I got a talking to, man. Somebody fucking told Dawn I was on one. That I was on one. I was just fucking doing my rabble rousing shit. I was just bored. Yeah, we'll chat, bro. Yeah, we'll fucking chat it up. For sure. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleeps all night and I works all day. He's a lumberjack and he's okay. He sleeps all night and he works all day. I cut down trees, I wear high heels, suspenders and a bra. I wish I'd been a girly, just like my dear mama. Oh, he's a lumberjack and he's... Favorite noodles, Mr. Noodle. I don't eat Mr. Noodles. I eat Nissin and Maruchan ramen. My favorite is beef or what it used to be called Oriental. Now I call it soy sauce, which sucks. I like the Oriental flavor. Yeah, Oriental or beef is my go-to. But I'll eat chicken if you got it, but no pork, no shrimp. Too sensitive for the Thunderdome. Dude, I'm sensitive too, but I like having my sensitivity challenge. But bro, shit escalated so quick today. You know what I mean? It was like, you know, it just went from 0 to 100, and I feel like I was wrapped up in the whirlwind, bro. Wrapped up in the whirlwind. I got a stern talking to today, a stern one. And then I got investigated. I got called to task. I was grousing in the Thunderdome, and the fucking big man himself. I don't want to. The big man himself pulled me in. He was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, Paul? What are you doing this to me, Paul?" And I was like, "Huh?" And then I find out somebody else tagged him, and I was like, "Who fucking tagged you?" I don't ever bother him. But he was hot. He was pissed at me. And then he pulled me in again. He was like, "Let me see your DMs with soda." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "All right." I was like, "Man, I'm not a collaborator, bro. Dude, I'm dead ass. I don't do that shit. That's too online. That shit's online only." Yeah. You could post up the Warren cigarette, because that's a way chiller place, Jareth. You should join the Warrens. Because that place is just about smoking weed, chilling, talking music and all that, playing video. Nothing happened, bro. I'm just talking Discord shit. Don't even worry about it, bro. It's just Discord drama. Like, dude, for some people, it's like it's real to me, damn it. You remember that guy, that wrestling guy? "I just wanted to thank y'all. Everything that you done for your bodies. It's real to me, damn it." That guy. But yeah, no, Cigarette said, chill people are welcome. If you're not chill, he's just going to bounce you. But if you are chill, you know, that's the place for it. He inadvisedly gave me mods over there, and he told me, "Hey, if somebody pisses you off, mod abuse." I was like, "All right, fair." But I usually don't touch the mod button. I don't like doing it. The temptation is too great. Once I start, the power goes to my head. Just like all these mods. You still have a Discord? No, I do. I'm just not in there much. I feel bad about it, but once again, it's a place for people to chill. I'm not a hard ass about it. But, one of the things I enjoy about the Dome is that these are people that aren't fans of mine. For the most part. Some of fans of mine have come over there, but like, for the most part, these people, like, most of them don't even like me, you know? Or they go from liking me to hating me very often because they see the duality of my nature, which by the way, I can't struggle against any more mightily than I have. I have to own some of that. But yeah, I get under people's skin pretty easily, and I fuck around, and sometimes I find out. And today I found out. I got fucking. Yeah, read the rules. Obviously, anytime you go into a Discord, you read the fucking rules and you make sure you know what they are. Take that as a warning from experience for the content. for the content, to the content, the eternal content. Paul, we like you mostly. You know, you win some, you lose some, friend. Mm. I rub most people the wrong way. This is just truth about me. You know what I mean? Maybe a lot of people would say it's a flaw. But once people get to know me, I feel like they either run screaming or they become fast friends with me because they see that despite the duality of my nature, my ability to have this kind of strange shift, that I'm not inconsistent and that I'm not dishonest with it. I own my crazy, is basically what I'm trying to say. 2009, Paul. Yeah, yeah. That's when I peaked, bro. 29. No hot tub streams in the Warrens yet. Mm. Well, if I ever get a hot tub, I'll do it, but I'm not at that level yet. You know what I mean? I can't flex that hard yet. I think you have so many haters, Paul, because you were so authentic. Well, that's not, because that's aggrandizing. I have so many haters because I'm abrasive. I abrade people. Like I'm quick to fucking just drop the hammer on you and just call you a fucking idiot and escalate things. And look, that's part of my duality because I also care very much about people and I love empathetic conversation. But when somebody gets under my skin or starts to try, I go from 0 to 100 real quick. And I make them, some of them try and giggle their way through it, but eventually everybody reveals their butt hurt. And I kind of enjoy that, you know what I mean? And some people would say that's a destructive quality, but it's a quality that I don't use in my personal life. I use it in these online spaces where I feel like it's kind of par for the course. But that's perceived a number of different ways. And then in my personal life, I'll admit, I abrade certain people. Yeah, I abrade certain people. Then that's okay. I'm an irritant. Yeah, the local dump, bro. Get that fucking kiddie pool. Gotta just put some duct tape on the bottom where it's cracking. You know what I mean? Fill that bitch up and just wait around, man. You gotta do what you gotta do to stay cool. Go buy a bag of ice, dump that shit in there. Blah, 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 blah. Mm. Dumpster diving? Bro, I've heard that people find valuable ass shit down there and that people find food that's just fine, because the place got to throw it out because it's beyond the sell by date, but it's still fine. They go through it, they get good food out of there. I got no problem with it, bro. I just think it's a sad fucking, it's like a sad commentary on society that people are sifting through the garbage that, you know, but it's a totally valid thing to do, I guess. Paul, do you think if what happened during the TJ argument was in person, he may not have escalated and got so hot? No. TJ and I have gotten escalated like that in person before. Scotty and I have too. Shit gets hot, man. Like I said, that whole thing I was just talking, the abrasive personality, that applies to TJ and Scotty too. Bro, there are times where they're under my skin, I'm under their skin. We're fucking at each other. You saw how TJ slapped that mic. Dude, he would have wanted to do that to me in person. I'm not saying he would have, but that's an expression of. He lashed out at me because he felt like I was being repressive of his instinct or whatever, and he, that same kind of energy would have been present if I was in the room for sure. But DJ and I know each other on that level. We're not internet friends. We're real life buds. That's cool. My dad used to take us directly to the dump to look for shit. He once found a completely working barbecue with a loose valve. Oh yeah, no. Dude, my stepdad he's not a dumpster diver, but he's kind of like that. He's a MacGyver. It's like when he sees a neighbor or he sees something sitting on the side of the street, he doesn't see junk. He's like, damn, I could do something with that. And he'll make some crazy shit. I was picking his brain about it on a couple of streams ago. Crazy MacGyver guy. But he builds some fucking like super functional shit. And he'll just get, he tells me, I'll just get a picture of it in my brain and I go out there and I do it. I'm like, man, I ain't got that. He could have been an inventor, you know. Well, back in the day too, before I knew my stepdad, my dad also a tinkerer. We used to go to the dump to dump shit, and then he'd fucking rummage through some of that shit. Like if he saw an old washing machine, he'd grab that and say, "PJ, load that shit up." You know what I mean? And me and him would fucking load it. He'd take the drum out of it. He'd tinker with it. He'd grab the motor out of it, tinker with that, use it for some other fucking thing, replace another little motor with it. It's fucking wild. And that was super common. And that's pretty much dumpster diving. That's where people dump all their crazy junk and their garbage and all that shit, right? We used to go, it was called Fairmead back in the day. I think that's what it's still called. Go to the Fairmead dump, which was huge, man. You never been to a dump? Bro, it's like acres and acres of mountains of garbage. Fucking crazy. These big bulldozers like pushing it like it's sand, making these dunes with it. So they make a pit to throw more in. It's fucking wild, bro. Just layer upon layer of this horrible shit. But you go around the area they let you drive your car on and find a place to dump your load. You can find shit and take it out of there. That was part of the deal. And my dad would be like, "Oh yeah, go grab that." He'd see an old fucking drivetrain or something. We loaded up some old go-kart, some old tire. "Oh, I think I could use that." And it'd go in the shop, and eventually he'd find a reason to use it. Dump your load. Yeah, dump the whole ropey load, bro. The whole shit. The entire shit, bro. Dump it. What is a professional streaming setup? And isn't all you need a well-charged smartphone? Not yet, but soon. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing professional streaming, you're going to need something like I got. So a decent PC that can handle that, well, more a decent video card, but a real decent PC helps. Good condenser mic, and I recommend the board, not a direct USB mic, because it gives you way more control and way better, like, what do they call it, ducking and that sort of thing, built right in. So real decent, mad decent mic, mad decent board, mad decent computer if you're going to do pro streaming. Having a good phone helps. I don't have anything pro about this. This is just a phone. And so yeah, I think that's why I say I think we're approaching. But if I were on my PC setup, there's a really good chance you wouldn't be able to hear that. If I had my PC set up out here with all of the fucking condensing that goes on and shit, I very much doubt you could hear that. The only thing loud enough in our household to come over my mic is Dynor. Peepaw Dynor. Why don't you go lay on your peepaw bed? Why you lay on the floor? When you got a peepaw bed right over there. He don't know. He don't got the answers. Does he want in? I mean, if I put him in, he's going to sit down right by the door. He wants me to go in, is what he wants. That's what I think that's what he wants, is he wants me to be, because that's Dynor's pathology, is he wants me, Amelia, and everybody to be together all the time. He doesn't want us to go on our own, to have any on our own time. If I go take a nap, he would really prefer if she takes a nap. If she goes to take a nap, he wants to be with her, but he would really prefer it if I come take a nap too. He doesn't like it when we're spread out in the house. He wants us all to be under the same roof all the time in the same room, and he wants to be in the middle of that. And so he has a hard time deciding because me and Amelia work together, but we have separate workspaces. I stream downstairs. She has an office upstairs, and when she's in there in her office doing shit, and I'm downstairs, he has a real conundrum because he's like, how I be with both? Well, that is, and Femboy, that is it. Dinor, he feels this real drive to protect the family by alerting us to anything he feels is encroaching upon us. So even though he's laying down there, he's awake and he is oriented so that he can watch where that noise is coming from. So you guys hear one of my neighbors is running a power tool. Dinor is laying on that side so that he is next to me and looking at the source of that noise to make sure it's just nothing. So he is a vigilant little watchdog. When Dinar's won't cuddle, he wants to be in. He's in bed with us every night. He sleeps between us. Like he ends up worming his way in between us. But he's always got his head oriented towards the door because if somebody walks through that door, he's gonna blow up and wake us up, right? And so his instinct is to protect. But he won't fucking sleep in another room. Yeah, no, he's a total good boy. That's why I don't question his little shit. Why don't you come here? We're talking about you. Why don't you come here and let the people know that what we're saying is true? You're the vigilant guard dog, right? You got up with Dad, even though Dad got up at 5:30 this morning. You weren't ready to get up, but you got up because, you got to watch after Dad. Isn't that true? And that's why you're looking around and sniffing the air right now. Isn't that true? Because you like to watch after your dad and your mom and your kitty cat. He's a very good boy. Oh, see? Got a yawn. You want to lay down for a minute? You can lay. I'll hold you. Like that. Watch. Just like that. No? See? Because he can't watch. He can't watch. He's got to be watchful. He's so fluffy. Oh my God. He is fluffy. He's super fluffy. You gonna go lay on your peepaw bed. D, go lay on your peepaw bed. Go on your peepaw bed. It's comfortable for your little old hips, not next to me. Ay, ay, ay. What is this thing? Speak of the devil if someone you were talking about appears suddenly exists. It's just a way of like joking about the person. It's a way of letting that person know socially we were just talking about you, but non-maliciously. You know what I mean? We were just mentioning you. And then you usually go on to say, we were just talking about you coming over later. Oh, goodness. My ears were burned. And that's another thing that the person on the other end of that will say. So it's a really like socially funny way to let somebody know, hey, we were just talking about you non-maliciously. We were just mentioning you incidentally. Right? So if they heard their name when they were walking up, they don't assume you're gossiping or some shit. Does he have hip dysplasia? No. No, he's actually super healthy, but he's 10 and he's a little bonier. The doctor says that's totally normal. When dogs get old, they lose a little muscle mass. And I just want him to be comfortable. I think I worry about it more than he does. He's just like, over the last year or so, I've noticed he's like a little old peepaw. In Swedish, we say speaking about the trolls. Cool. Speak of the devil and he appears mildly and sweetly and jokingly call someone the devil out of affection. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the joke. It's like a semi-sarcastic way of diffusing the situation by saying, oh, speak of the devil and she appears. Because it kind of diffuses it. It's a joking way. People know that it's joking. At least usually, right? How old did your oldest get? Huh? I don't have any kids. Yeah, I never had any children. Or are you talking to somebody else? Oh, dog. Well, my ex-wife has a dog that we got together that is still alive, and she would be 15. So that, I think, might be the oldest dog that I've ever known and had responsibility for, at least for a chunk of its life. As far as my personal dogs that I saw through their whole life, probably one of the dogs I had when I was a kid. I think my dog Casey was 12. She was a golden retriever Irish setter mix. I think she was 12 or 13 when she passed. Yeah, so somewhere around there. I mean, that's dog years. There's like squirrel politics going on out there. A little chattering going on. I mean, there's nothing easy about divorce, but I imagine getting divorced with no kids was easier. Yeah. I'm a full blown simulation theorist. It's one of those things that it doesn't matter if it's true, and so it's okay to just kind of go with it. And I just think that, like, statistically speaking, it's way more likely we're in a simulation than not. Just some super advanced simulation that is indistinguishable from what we believe to be reality. The way that we see and experience things may not actually be reality. If we're in a simulated universe, this may be a simulation that tries out these specific conditions for life and studies it on a universal time scale, where to us it's an entire lifetime or an aeon of human progress, and to them it's a data point, right? I think that's way more likely than the idea that we're in the one solitary reality. Vacations and more. Or more Oklahoma this coming spring break. I don't know, man. That doesn't sound fun. Do you get your conspiratorial tendencies from Mama's ego? Oh, yeah. Well, Mama's ego is conspiratorial, but she's also very, well, not so much anymore. But when I was coming up, she was very superstitious. Black cats, you spit, you spill the salt, throw it over your shoulder. Don't walk under a ladder, don't break a mirror, those sorts of common superstitions. But she really believed that shit. My mom also loves suspending her disbelief and buying magazines like the Weekly World News and the National Enquirer and taking them as gospel truth. My mom also, pretty readily believes in like Bigfoot, aliens. So yeah, I think that probably comes from her end of things. If anything, it might just be something that's peculiar to both of us. Mm-hmm. My mom would show me with kind of like a wry smile. I'd come home from school. She'd be like, "They caught him." I'd be like, "What?" "Bat boy." And I was like, "Shut up." And she'd have this kind of like, she knew. She just loved it. She'd show me the article. "Look right there. They got pictures of him in the laboratory." I'd be like, "Mama, those are fake pictures." "Fake pictures? Says you." you know. So there's part of her that I think what I took from her, maybe more than that, was I took the idea that, like, it's okay to be a fringe person. It's okay to express a fringe idea. You know, there was a one, she was like, PJ. I was like, what, mama? She goes, Bill Clinton met with the aliens. And I was like, Weekly World News? Yep. Look right there. Show it to me. It's got Bill Clinton shaking hands with an alien. And I'm like, Mama, Bill Clinton didn't shake hands with no alien. Well, why don't you think? I said, turn on the TV. This would be the fucking biggest news in the world. Somebody would be covering this, Mama. Put on the fucking news. They would interrupt your shows for this if he shook hands with an alien. I don't know, PJ. I just don't know. And so I definitely took that from her. I like stirring people's assumptions up a little bit by taking a strange position. Bless her heart. Don't bless her heart for that. She had her tongue right in her cheek. She was trolling. She was trolling. Don't bless her heart for being a troll. Paul Jalapeno Parky. No, Paul Jr., PJ. Yeah, I share names with my father. My father. What a weird word. My dad. My pops. My father. Bless your heart is Midwestern fighting words. Is it really? I've heard that. Oh, bless your heart. Oh, you're just all mad, ain't you? Bless your heart. Yeah, I would punch somebody. You're right, bro. They meant fighting words. I'll bless all the trolls of the world. Fair. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Trolls of the world. Oh, see? A squirrel. And he heard it, and now he's up, and he's alert. He's ready. You see what I mean? Heard a squirrel coming down out of the tree, and he's making sure they know he's watching. No squirrel sneaking up on his dad. Mm-mm. You prefer pizza or cheeseburgers, Paul? Pizza. If I got to choose one of the two, pizza. But I like them both. We're at a call center, and I hear "bless your heart" sarcastically almost every week. Yeah. Yeah, no, pizza, bro. Pizza, 100% pizza. Pizza all day. You believe in lizard people? Oh, yeah, bro. For sure. I've seen it too much. And you know who I think the most prominent lizard person on the planet is right now? Hillary Clinton. I've seen too much out of her, bro. That woman appraises you like a lizard appraises a mealworm, bro. That's what a lizard does. If you're at a lizard, you give them a mealworm and they're like, Hillary Clinton. I think Hillary Clinton is a reptiloid. I think that Nancy Pelosi is a reptiloid. I think that there's a couple of fucking Republican reptiloids too. Like I think Mitch McConnell is like a turtle species reptiloid. I don't think Trump is a reptiloid, but I think JD Vance is a reptiloid. Yeah. I just think there's some reptiloids out there. Yeah. I believe it, bro. Stranger things have been true. Trump is just a useful idiot. Not Ted Cruz, useful idiot. Yeah, that's just cringe. JD Vance is definitely a reptiloid, though. He's a reptiloid for sure. I think Trump is just stupid. I'm starting to think Giuliani might be a reptiloid because he gets away with everything. Like, I think a non reptiloid would have been put in jail a long time ago. But Giuliani's still free, still walks among us, still talking that shit. That means reptiloid. Couple of foreign leaders that are reptiloids. Not Macron, but Macron's wife is a reptiloid. The first lady of France, reptiloid. Um, Fuck. Well, I know he's not prime minister, but when I was a kid, Tony Blair, reptiloid, for sure, reptiloid. Um, More foreign leaders that are reptiloids. Merkel, Angela Merkel, reptiloid, 100% reptiloid. Reptiloid for sure. Oh, fucking Trudeau, reptiloid. Elizabeth, reptiloid, which means the King of England is a reptiloid. Putin, can I just say this, man? Putin doesn't give strong reptilian vibes. He doesn't. I want to say no on Putin, but I can't really articulate why, although, other than I just don't get the vibe. No, I think Putin might know and he might oppose the reptiloids. Maybe. Xi Jinping is a reptiloid, for sure. He's a reptilian, 100%. But Putin, I don't get strong vibes. Maybe he's just a really good, well-hidden reptiloid. Oh, Ted Cruz, reptiloid. Oh, no wonders. No worries, cigarette. Nah, Ted Cruz, though. Too stupid to be a reptiloid, bro. Reptiloids are smart. You want to know who the template reptiloid is? Rubio is a reptiloid. Marco Rubio is a reptiloid, but you know who the template reptiloid is, dude? The number one, Dick Cheney. Look at Dick Cheney. Look at the eternal Dick Cheney. That's a reptiloid. You know what happens when you live with a reptiloid? Look at Bill Clinton now. Like he's had all the juice sucked out of him like a juicy fly caught in a web. You know why it looks like Bill Clinton has been juiced? Because he has, bro. He has, bro. He's fucking been juiced. That motherfucker's been juiced. Oh yeah. Review of the week is a lizard man. He's a real entertaining one. But you're absolutely right. He's there to get us to eat the fucking food that keeps us sterile and stupid. This is pretty good hamburger garbage. You know what I mean? That's his reptiloid role. But he's funny about it. Gavin Newsom is a reptiloid. Yep. Sleazy reptiloid energy coming off of him. You guys remember she fucking died recently. What was her name? I want to forget her name already. Dianne Feinstein, reptiloid. 100% reptilian. Mr. Beast, reptiloid. Yeah, he's one of the ones that they sent after the kids. He don't act right. He's a reptiloid. Yeah, he's one of the ones. He's indoctrinating the kids into the reptiloid fucking, the reptiloid world order. He's getting them used to just being stupid. Be dumb. Be factory workers in our weird scheme of reptiloid control. Oh, for sure, bro. Yeah, here you go. Be dumb. Here's dumb. Yeah, they all have veneers. They're all obsessed with white teeth. Nick Fuentes, no reptiloid energy after Nick Fuentes. Vosh, reptiloid. 100% reptiloid. That motherfucker, I heard that motherfucker one time say, my dudes, I don't even listen to music. And I think that talking about music is impossible. And I was like, you fucking reptilian. Bernie is not a reptiloid. Bernie is not a reptiloid, but I'm going to tell you something about Bernie. He was told about the reptiloids. You remember when he ran and he could have contested and he stood up there and he was like, I support Hillary Clinton for president. They took him in a room and they were like, they showed him the fucking old dusty tape. They put it in there and they were like, here you go, Bernie Sanders. This is the truth. They showed a reptiloid eating somebody's face. And they were like, who's the president? He was like, Hillary Clinton. They were like, yeah, that's right. He did. He kneeled before the reptiloids. I believe that shit, bro. I don't know if I actually believe reptiloids, but I got to tell you, one of the things I do believe, and I just believe this has been in the zeitgeist too long to be untrue. It's one of those things. I genuinely believe that they got a tape that they show high-level government officials to put the fear of God in their asses. I believe so. I believe they got a different angle on the Kennedy assassination. Maybe they got some alien shit. Maybe they show them some real shit. You know what I mean? Because I really believe that shit, bro. That shit's been in the zeitgeist way too long. I think there's a fucking come to Jesus tape where they're like, you're going to go along. Don't be too revolutionary with your power, because here's what we do with fucking revolutionaries. Here's what we do when people buck the system. And they just show the fucking angles they got on the assassinations. Here's Martin Luther King. Here's fucking Elijah Muhammad. Here's JFK. Here's RFK, right? Here's everybody that stood up and tried to buck the reptiloids, bro. It don't work out, so you better get your shit together. Start fucking going with the program. I believe it. They know some shit, bro. They know some wild shit. And they ain't telling us. And at some point they figure it out. And I believe one of those things is like, hey, you will go along or else. You know what I'm talking about? I believe that. Yeah. Or the Book of Secrets. You guys remember that thing? You know what? I don't want to put her on the spot, but my wife is always really level-minded about this. So I know it's speculative, but gun to your head, you gotta give an answer. Do you think that there is a tape of crazy shit that they show high-level government officials, like, here's the truth of the JFK and RFK assassinations. Here's maybe a little alien shit you didn't know. Here's the truth of this. They show them that to show them that there's like, you better toe the line. Do you, if you had to answer, does that exist? What's your notion?
I don't know if it can be consolidated in a video. They probably get a lot of documents to review
Well,
on
true,
video.
but you think they're given like a
They're
fucking
given a
thing,
packet.
and it briefs them on like, holy fuck.
I mean, I don't know what the contents of that would be, but I'm sure there's some highly classified things or ongoing military things that haven't been disclosed or shit like that.
Do you think that it's possible that some of that shit is like scary, fucking like holy shit, contradictory to what the narrative is on certain things, like 9/11 information, JFK information, like undisclosed secret projects that they're running?
Well, I'd mentioned like
Yeah.
a military operation that hasn't been disclosed.
Mm-hmm. But do you think it's done as a scare tactic?
Well, I mean, I feel like if that was the case, Trump's certainly not towing the line by any metric.
I don't think Trump's in control. That's the thing. I think Trump is another puppet president like George W. was. George W. was just a big dumbass, and Dick Cheney was puppeteering his ass. I think they've realized that Trump is so media
but that's
obsessed.
Still not towing the line of what
well, maybe
the
it
powers
is.
that be would like.
Maybe it is.
You think they wanted him to tank the economy and risk all of our
maybe because
relations?
who got rich on that economy tanking?
There's
Everybody
a lot of
that he
people
put
that
up on
lost
game.
money too, like.
Well, yeah, their loss, our gain. Trump let people know before he tanked the economy. And the people that listened.
I don't know if it's the people that would show him the documents or whatever.
Yeah, like, maybe not.
I feel like if there was some like incentive to toe the line, he's obviously not, because he's just not towing the line. Period.
Do you know why I believe in the document, or the stack of documents, or the black tape, or whatever it is, right? Something they show people. And this is just totally subjective, but Obama, he got elected, right? The next time I saw that dude in public, he looked like he'd aged 15 years. Like somebody had sucked 15 years of life out of him. He's gray around the temples. His face was like, his eyes were like, he had dark raccoon.
And that might be be a bit of an exaggeration right after he was elected.
I mean, I didn't see him like give a speech. I wasn't tuned in to that level at that point because I was really trying to pull back from my media obsession. So I might have seen him 2 months in speaking. You know, I'd seen pictures, but speaking, and I was like, "Fuck, this is the same guy. Like he looks hollow."
I don't know if that would be an effect of learning some secret or just the burdens of the job in general.
I mean, yeah, I think you're probably right, but I think they put the fear of God in his ass because I think he thought he was going to do that. Yes, we can. Hope, change shit. And I think they were like, hey, hope, change. And he was like, let me take a look at this.
I don't think that's what made him change his hope change. I think it was the insurance companies lobbying and Congress making it clear to him that they wouldn't vote for a Medicare for all situation.
Or they showed him the black document, the file that thick, and it's got the truth. Look at all the shit they keep disclosing. They were like, there's no UFOs. And now they're like, yeah, we've been tracking UFOs since the 40s. And we're aware of them, and we have no explanation for them. So that was a lie.
Intentionally aliens, though.
Well, yeah, but what is it? They're describing shit that is like functionally impossible from how we understand physics. Shit changing, doing 45-degree angle turns at speed. Shit that we're told from our perspective is fucking functionally impossible. So yeah, I guess it could be Russia or us testing some shit that's so black box that nobody knows about it, even the military.
Yeah, like there's so little communication. Whatever. I don't know.
But the way they come out with it isn't like, yeah,
I don't think I'm ever gonna crack your conspiracy perception of the world.
Well, we were talking about that, and I think it comes from my mom, because she used to read the weekly world news and be like, they caught Bat Boy. And I knew she was like only half believing it.
You remember when she was watching the Chernobyl, like, is that a moon rover or is that just a rover?
Yeah, she was like, I don't think they had that back then. And I was like, Mama, it's just a robot. It's just a remote control robot. And yeah, it was rare back then, but it was the 80s. I had a remote control robot. Remember?
Well, I think she just didn't think that it was like a lunar robot.
Oh, well, that was the 80s. She see, that's the thing. I don't know if she believes we landed on the moon. It's one of those things I don't want to pick her brain on because I'm afraid. But I don't think she believes the moon landing was real. Maybe.
I think one
it's
of the
possible.
most harmless conspiracies, though, to be fair.
Well, it is, but it leads to different shit. Yeah. It's a rabbit hole. Because it leads... Well,
it doesn't have to be a rabbit hole.
It doesn't. Well, I don't think it is with my mom. I think my mom... I think she's...
Well, I think she's like you, where she can't, like, conceptualize certain things, like you and your longitude and latitude confusion.
Yeah.
So it might be hard to just conceptualize something, leaving our atmosphere and going all the way to the moon.
Yeah.
People coming back and shit.
We get hung up on one argument, too, and there's nothing that anybody can say to answer it, but we keep asking the begging question, you know, like... I notice a lot of similarities between us and talking about it. She was, I think the way that I would describe it is my mom had 1 foot in the I'm trolling and 1 foot in the maybe this is true. Yeah. And I feel like I'm the same way. Yeah. I feel like I'm more apt to take an extreme position sometimes just to see how people dismantle it. And I don't care that if I'm seen as a person with wild positions as a result.
I just think the world is simpler than that, and people couldn't cooperate on the biggest possible conspiracies. I think some people are dumb. I think there's some people that I'm just saying like the government in general. I think people are too dumb to do this giant conspiracy cover up to the extent that some conspiracies are.
Sure. I don't think
they could collaborate on something like the moon landing and covering that
Got
up.
you.
Or collaborate on, like, orchestrating the whole of 9/11 or something.
Or JFK.
Yeah.
Or do you think that incident could have been collaborated?
I don't think it could be collaborated to the point of like we did it, not
Or some government agency
yeah,
went rogue and did
yeah.
it or whatever, and we're hiding the truth. You don't think that, right?
I think there's too many
So you just go
people.
Occam's razor with most of
Yeah,
this. You're just like, what is more likely to be true? That there's
yeah.
some grand conspiracy, or that people just fucked up, or
Yeah.
some wild gunman did this. You're probably right for that, but Occam's razor isn't always true. It's just usually, right? Like if you look at two options, the one that is more explicable, the one that is more understandable is typically the truth. But there's got to be a couple of these events outside of Occam's razor, right? And if there's one,
But I mean, just look at the instincts. Like, there's people that speak. Like, there's so many like smaller conspiracies that have been revealed because people spoke out.
what about this though? If we lived in an era before the disclosures by the U.S. military and the CIA and shit, when it comes to like, if I was going like, the CIA used drugs to warp people's minds in a secret experiment called MK Ultra, and they hadn't admitted it, would you be going like, oh, Occam's razor says they probably didn't do that? That sounds wild. They were trying to mind control people and create a perfect assassin, right? You'd probably be like, nah. But they just admitted it, right? A few years, like 20 years ago. The alien shit's another example. If I would have told you, dude, they got files on alien shit, they got files on UFOs this thick, they know. But they were saying at that time, like, we ain't got nothing like that. Well, you guys are crazy. You know what I mean? There's no, they would have told me. Like, Obama even said that. Pretty sure they would have briefed me on that if there were aliens. Because they ask every
Well,
president.
it didn't say aliens. They said UFOs.
Well, UFOs, whatever. But yeah, I mean, that's the implication. Unidentified, well, yeah, I guess it doesn't mean aliens, but that's the implication of people's minds. It's like, comes from beyond.
Well, look at how meager the reaction was when they did do that UFO disclosure. It's not what people were assuming it was.
True. I mean, it didn't like admit that there were aliens. It just admitted that there's shit flying around that breaks the laws of physics and we don't know. Like, they're not disclosing where it's from, if they do know. But they're claiming now, like, we can't explain these things. We've documented them. We've got video evidence of them. We've got, dozens of testimonies from decorated officers and fighter
I'm sure
pilots
with
and
things
stuff.
like MK Ultra, there were people that were saying stuff, even if they weren't believed.
Well, yeah, there were. MK Ultra was a meme back when I was a kid because it was something that was seen as like, that's something a crazy person rants about. They were experimenting, making secret soldiers and shit. And they released it and they were like, yeah, that's kind of what we were doing though. And so there's this like thing it's called COINTELPRO, where they send people out and it's not like everybody, but they start the meme. That's fucking wild. That's crazy. They've released files about this too. They send people to these like communist meetings and socialist meetings, not just to spy, but to spread the meme that it's all hullabaloo. When somebody brings up something they don't want to talk about, oh, Nixon's lying about the war. Oh, that's hullabaloo. It's not that fucking direct. They're
But I
sneakier
think we're
about
in
it.
an era where that doesn't work anymore.
Well, I think we're in the era where they're using the same thing that we use to talk. They're here. I'm not saying they're here, but I'm saying they're on the internet making these narratives, spinning this web. Still, you don't believe that?
Well, I'm just saying that it doesn't work to the extent that it might have.
Well, maybe not. People can dig deeper, but a lot of people only dig surface level and they see this big upvoted thing going like, here's why 9/11 wasn't an inside job. And maybe it doesn't line up with a lot of the story, but they just look at it, they see all the upvotes, and they go like, "Huh, all right." And maybe that's a government person trying to fucking sow seeds.
I'm probably just not going to be able to convince you otherwise, and I don't even know if I want to convince you otherwise.
You like it that I'm a little wild or what?
No, it's just there's I don't think there's much point to it.
Good point. I'm not going to change anything about it. I'm not asking you to convince me. I'm not disagreeing with you. You're probably right. I just find it interesting to indulge those things because of what you said. It doesn't matter in the end. Like if I'm right or I'm wrong, nobody's going to disclose it. You know what I mean? The government's not going to change the way it is. So.
Or if it does, then it does, and then that's
And
in
then
the
we,
future and we can't
right.
control anything.
Well, I think that just shows a difference in our way of thinking. You're a pragmatist and you're a rationalist to the core. I like those
I
things, but
just
I'm
feel
not.
like there's some amount it's a little too it's shifted to conspiracy brain in recent years.
Yeah,
Or like
too many people.
I thought it was a little ridiculous how people were like, oh, the Trump assassination attempt was staged, or oh, like you've changed your mind on that. You were pretty on
TJ,
board.
I was kind of on board, but TJ showed that video of the Secret Service helping photographers into position right before the shot goes off, and then them deliberately lowering the American flag into the photographer's shot. That was a little weird.
I mean,
The way the Secret Service handled Trump is weird. Like, they would have never let him pop his head up.
well, I don't know if you know what never. He probably hand selects some of the Secret Service stuff to align.
You're probably
with
right.
stuff.
But why would he say, if I'm ever shot and wounded, let me stand up and do a photo op before you carry me off? When we're still not sure there's still not an active shooter, let me pop my head out again when somebody almost blew it off. It just makes no
that dude
sense.
was killed so fast
But
that
they don't know that he's the only one. Like, at that point, they think there still might be active shooters on the president. The protocol is get him turtled up and the fuck out. Get him in the beast and get him to safety. Because that might be 5 people trying to assassinate the president. One failed. Now you got 2 more backup guys. They don't know. I watched, these. If you watch, Trump had one of these during the thing. Some dude ran up from behind the stage at one of these airplane hangars he was doing a meeting in. His Trump plane was behind him. Some dude ran up and had a gun, and they fucking tackled Trump. Boom, put him down. There were 3 guys on him, and the rest of them were over dealing with the threat. And it's just like, dude, his head was almost blown off, and that protocol went out the window right in front of the American flag with perfectly positioned photographers that had a Secret Service detail for some reason. There was a Secret Service guy holding on to the back of 3 photographers, like I did you when you were looking through the thing and I guided you along that curb, doing that right before Trump was shot, getting those photographers into a position on the side, moving them like he was helping them. And then Trump is shot, he goes down, the flag lowers into the frame. And then he gets up. For whatever reason, the Secret Service lets him linger there for like 15 seconds doing this. And then they turtle him up and take him out. I'm not saying it was staged, but it does have some things that raise questions. Who was this dude? We don't know shit about him other than his name. You know what I mean? I feel like we know way more about all other presidential assassins or attempted assassins. We got Sirhan. We got I can't remember his name now, but we did know his name back in the day. The dude that plugged Reagan, got him in the gut.
I feel like there was still a decent amount of stuff revealed about him, social media stuff.
Not a lot though, and it's like, that's all. I think that it is questionable whether the official story as it played out was real. Now, if I had to make a fucking 50-50 call on it, I'd say it was real. But I do think that it's not totally conspiratorial to look at some of the different angles that have come out and go like,
right, that's the problem with conspiracy, though. Is it's like some things are like chin scratchers, but there's no like understandable narrative to tie them all together.
well, I mean, here's my narrative. That picture of Trump won him the presidency. I think the presidency was lost that day. That was such a powerful image, and it changed the narrative. There were people that weren't going to vote for Trump out of apathy or dissatisfaction with his first term that were like, wait a minute, they tried to plug that guy? I'm voting for him.
In my interpretation right after it, I almost felt like there was more organized botting pushing the narrative that it was fake.
You're probably right. Well, any destructive narrative is going to be pushed by foreign actors and internal actors that are looking to discount. Mm-hmm. So you're probably right about that. Mm-hmm. That doesn't, I mean,
I feel like, it's that was the manipulation, at least I saw, was like people
Botting and weird.
saying like, I remember there was one account from like fucking Ireland or something like that looks fake. It's like, why would some Irish person be watching it so closely and
Sure.
feel so compelled?
Well, you can tell. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of bottings and counter botting and narrative control. Because, you know, in the same way that there are bots saying this wild counter narrative shit, there are on narrative bots. That's just true. There are pro DNC, pro RNC bots out there who respond to any fucking like we've. One of the things that the Destiny community on Reddit is really good at is when marching orders go out to these people who ostensibly they don't work together. These are independent media figures, people in the RNC, people in the Congress, and they're all tweeting the same shit, the same exact shit. So it's like that's not botting, but that lets you know that these organizations are actively looking to control the narrative in the same way bots are. So there's counter botting going on where it's like this more reasonable narrative is pushed in the same way the conspiratorial one is pushed. But I get what you're saying. I do think Occam's razor applies in all things. And I'm not pushing you on that. I just think you get interesting conversations if you take a little bit of an extreme position sometimes. That's all. That's what I do anyway. I think that's what my mom does too. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't like speaking for other people though. Oh my God. My dad said he changed his flight.
Oh.
Oh my God. All right, I gotta go. I'm gonna call my